Good morning, everybody. We're here at Stark Brothers Nursery in Louisiana, Missouri. My name is Terry, and I am the manager grower of the Easy Start program. And as of this month, I'll be here 44 years, so I'm a lifer, I think. So today we're going to give you a demonstration of pruning this apple tree. This is a Golden Delicious apple tree. It was planted several years ago for a dedication, and unfortunately has been left unattended for several years. So that was the first mistake. So we've got a little job ahead of us here. Don't be intimidated when you're pruning. Everybody prunes a little different. You're not going to kill the tree. Well, the main thing first is tools. Make sure you have a good pair of clippers and maybe a pair of loppers, depending on the size of the tree, if you're going to need the loppers or not. Make sure they're sharp so that you make a nice clean cut. The first step that we're going to do is we're going to remove any sucker growth that's at the base of the tree. This is going to take energy away from the top of the tree, and this is actually part of the rootstock. So I'm cutting it right in the ground as much as possible. So now moving up the tree, this is an apple tree. So apple trees most generally need a central leader. As you can see, we've got to make a decision on what is a central leader. But the first step, what we're going to do is we're going to remove any broken branches, any branches that are going inward, and then we'll start with that. Now, when you're making that cut, it's important to not cut into the trunk of the tree or the branch. You need to cut at the collar. The collar is right here. It's just a little bit, it's no different than a collar on your shirt. There's a little gap here, and then it's the trunk of the tree. So you're gonna cut on this side of the collar, which I'm not gonna cut this branch at this time. As I'm doing this, I'm gonna start thinning the branches out too, because there's a lot of branches going on in this tree, and there's a lot of unwanted branches we're gonna want in here. So I'm cutting these off at the collar. This branch here is growing in towards the tree. That will need to come off. This branch is growing up into a vertical position. We want them more horizontally. You might want to step back once in a while and evaluate your tree. When you're done, it should be kind of a pyramid shape. Since this is a little bit of an older tree, in most cases, if this tree was like the second year's growth, you would look at the fresh growth. This is a year's growth. You can see where it started. You might take a third of this off. But this tree, since it's several years old, I don't want to go prune it too hard. I'll kind of watch it this year, monitor it, how it's growing, and then next year I can kind of reevaluate the tree and maybe do a little bit cleanup on the tree. I think I might need a ladder. No. See that this is the main stem, and that is the leader. Even though it is a little bit of a size difference there, it'll catch up. I'm going to cut this one pretty hard. Here. I want to get a good clean cut. Okay, this one, it's growing vertically, and it's awfully tight to the leader. So I'm going to make a nice cut, hopefully right there. Don't be afraid to reevaluate as much as you need to. What you see now is we're opening that frame up. We're getting more sunlight in, more air circulation. That'll keep diseases from entering into the tree also. And now I'm going to start heading back some of these branches. Heading back, it means that you're going to take part of the branching back some, and you want it at a more of a 45-degree angle. So there's the bud. I'm cutting it at an angle at about 45 degrees. That way water doesn't puddle on that cut and disease won't settle in. As you can see, this branch has been damaged, so we're gonna cut that one back a little harder. There is a bud right here, so I'm gonna take it back to this bud right here. Again, at an angle, taking that off. There's too many branches going on right here. I think I'm gonna remove this one. Okay, so some of these branches are a little tight, so I might want to spread them out a little bit with limb spreaders. So they come in several different sizes, depending on how tight the crotch is. I might be utilizing a few of these. So it's got a nice little triangle there, a little angle. All you do is push that branch back and set it against the trunk and the branch at the angle that is desired, or you can make it less if you want. I'm going to push it out a little bit. Gonna cut this one back a little harder. So as you can see, I left the central leader, and it's more of a pyramidal shape. The branches get a little shorter on the top, and they get a little bit bigger at the bottom. I'm trying to keep them horizontally, so that way they grow out and not in. You get a lot of air circulation, some sunlight penetrating. It might seem a little drastic, but this tree was severely neglected, so we had to cut it back a little bit harder. So we will kind of keep everybody up to date on how this tree progresses throughout the season.